Hi, welcome back. I'm Paul Chartier. These fillies next to me, these beautiful ladies, are from Arbor Youth Services. Stephanie Spires is the executive director. Lisa Wilhite is the parent of Rochelle Fox, and we'll talk about your association and the great things that Arbor's done for you and what you've done for Arbor, so we'll get back to you in a minute. Stephanie, we've known each other for a long time. You joined Arbor how many years ago?
I've been there almost 2 years.
And how long has it been around?
It's been around almost 40 years,
Wow.
but no one in the community knew we existed except the kids we serve, because we serve over 500 kids a year. So the kids seem to know, but those of us not utilizing the services or really in the community had any clue that we had such a need for kids in our community or an organization filling that need.
It is an outrage.
Yes.
And with this program, we want to get the word out and talk about the great things that you're doing. Tell in a nutshell kind of what you do, who you serve, and how people get connected to you.
Yes, so I say that Arbor Youth Services serves every child in Central Kentucky that no one knows what to do with. And we have several programs. Our most well-known program is that we are the only emergency shelter for children in Central Kentucky. And so we serve children from 6 weeks age to 17 years of age in our shelter. It's an overnight shelter. And one of the deficiencies in our community is we do not have a family shelter. So oftentimes we segregate kids. Between the Salvation Army, the Community Inn, the Hope Center, and our center, we segregate families and separate them so the kids will come stay with us. We also serve kids that are runaways or at risk for runaway or homelessness. And then we also get some DCBS kids or just kids in crisis. We had 3 kids that were abducted from another state and ended up in Lexington, and the police brought them to our agency until their family was able to reunite with them. The 4-year-olds you always hear about on the news who sneak out while mom and dad are taking a nap. The police pick them up and bring them over to us while they search for their families. And so we really are, the shelter is about every kid that needs a place. The after-school program, which Rochelle is a participant in, is really a preventative piece and an aftercare piece for our kids. So it's for middle school and high school kids, and we really try to, as a preventative piece, we really want to work with kids and families to not have them utilize the shelter, because once a family utilizes the shelter, they're 9 times more likely to need shelter services. And so we really want to work and try to get families housing and employment support and this education support before that. But if they do need to utilize the services, we are familiar with them. We had a young boy recently who was in our after-school program, and his mom and her husband, he lost his job and they found themselves homeless, and the young boy said to his mom, he said, "Can I just go stay at Arbor Shelter?" And she said, "Yeah, that would be a great solution." And so he stayed with us for about 2 months while his family got back up on their feet, and now they're in housing and they're doing fine, and he still comes to the after-school program.
So you are a great safety net that people really don't know about.
Right.
Kind of thank God that they don't know about you, but they need to know about you if they have the need.
Right.
And before we talk to mother and daughter, you said that you're in an emergency shelter. What does that mean? So
the emergency shelter is that we really are a temporary place. We try to house kids 3 to 5 days, but some kids stay. We had 2 boys leave recently. One was there 45 days and one was there 52 days.
Wow.
And we also have a street outreach program for 18 to 25-year-olds, which is a day center where all the other shelters kind of refer their young adults over to us, because an 18-year-old who's homeless is a totally different issue than a 60-year-old who's homeless. And so we really are it for services from newborn to 25 years of age. And a lot of our 18 to 25-year-olds have young children who are 5 and under especially. So we've just kind of run the gamut. Like I said, we serve over 500 kids between all our programs. We're in 2 old houses, so I think the big thing we need is space. I think in the next coming years you'll see that we need to bust out of our bricks and mortar and into some new bricks and mortar. It's
important that the public knows who you are, who you serve, how to get in contact. We're going to put your website up in a minute. But I think they become touched when people are on to share the story about how you became connected with Arbor. Was it you, Lisa, or was it Rochelle?
I actually found out about the program when we were staying in the Salvation Army, and actually the director of the Salvation Army told us about the program, and so I actually checked it out, and I figured it was a better situation than staying in the Salvation Army. The program and everything that they do for the students, pick them up from school for the after-school program, and just the way they help people who are in need. So we found out about that through the Salvation Army.
Lexington is a fabulous community. We've got people that have needs and great people that step forward to connect that and help them. And for you to be on today is amazingly brave, because there's a lot of people that may be in a situation that you have been in or that you're in, and they don't know what to do. So for you to speak like this and let people know where they can go and get help and make them a better family, good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. And how long ago did you connect with Arbor?
Well, the first time we connected with Arbor, because we've been there twice. She's been with them twice. The first time was back in, let's see, was that 2011? We stayed in the Salvation Army from November of 2011 all the way up until May of 2012. So that was the first time that we became connected to the Arbor Youth Services. And then we came back to them again this past October, and my daughter was there for a couple months because, again, I like the environment. And right before she turned 18, we were able to find somewhere to live.
This is great that you've started here, and through whatever path that you've been on, you're right here. But nobody goes through life alone. You do it with support of other people. We all do. And for you to bravely come on and talk about this is so fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Rochelle, you've been with Arbor for a couple years, 2-3 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And when you went to Arbor, were you kind of reluctant to go, or were you okay to see what they could do for you?
Well, the first time I was sort of reluctant, but the second time I really wanted to go because I liked the way they treated us, and yeah.
You are like a beacon for a great organization and what they can do with people. And before the cameras went on, again, we're not here to talk about stuff, but we're here to talk about where you are right now. You're 18 years old. You're a senior in high school. And how many colleges have you been accepted?
7.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Some kids are happy with.
Yeah.
And you've been on this unfortunate path, but with that path and where you are right now, has it made you a stronger person?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, just.
Do you know what you want to say?
Yeah.
Is it emotional?
Well, it's kind of hard to, well, stay in a shelter and go to school at the same time, and it's not much time to study. And well, I made it through, so.
That is fantastic. You know, a lot of kids take for granted they don't want to go to school. You know, they just don't want to go to school. They think they want to go work and make some money and go buy a Chevrolet and work a job making an hourly wage and just go on with their lives. Here you are. What high school did you go to?
Dunbar.
Let's talk about your bravery. And the way you've lived your life compared to maybe a lot of the kids at Dunbar, but you've been accepted to 7 high schools, so 7 colleges. How do you feel about that?
I must say I am so proud of my daughter. Even though through all the trials and tribulations that we have been through in the last few years and everything, she has worked so hard in school. Her grades never slipped and everything. And look at her success. 7 colleges want her. And I just feel like that is so amazing, considering some kids, they can't handle everything that we've been through.
Right.
They're not strong enough to move forward. And, you know, she just kept a positive attitude, even though the type of things that we were going through. And I'm just so grateful.
It's remarkable. You know, like I said earlier, this show's been on for 10 years. We have great stories that are told about things that are happening here in Lexington. This is one of the best. I mean, this is an absolute, again, I use the word brave. A lot of people want to protect themselves. They have a certain image that they want to project. And anything that's kind of happened to them, they don't want to share that publicly, especially on television.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic what you're doing, because you know what? There are other kids like you. There are other moms like you out there. And they've got 2 paths to choose. One that's giving up, and the other is being strong and making something worthwhile happen. And you've chosen that path, and they can too. We have 3 minutes to go. I mean, this is flying by. We need to tell the website for Arbor Youth Services so people know how to connect with you.
Yeah, it's www.arborky.org.
And do you have a phone number?
859-254-2501. Excuse me, that's 859-254-2501. And you can also find us on Facebook. And that's where a lot of our youth, you know, we kind of find us and kind of stay updated, because it's, you know, we're dealing with a population that's very transient, and so, but they can get on phones or go to the library and log in, and so that's how we'll update like our cold weather plan, or if we have a special event going on. That's really how we reach out to a lot of our youth.
We know there are other families like yours. How many? We don't know how many there are. We want them to call you. Because if you can do the same thing with those families that you did with Lisa and Rochelle, this is like some kind of act of God that's happened here. And in closing, how do you feel about Arbor, and how do you feel about yourself?
I feel that Arbor is like a family to me, and I've become so attached to them, and I just never want to leave.
Mom, how do you feel?
I am so grateful for the services that they provided to me and my daughter, as well as the continuing services. Even after she turned 18, they always call, check in, leaving messages, ask, is there anything that we can do for you? And I'm just so grateful that there are programs out there that actually check in on you and make sure that you're okay.
For families to take that pride of what the people think about them, put it aside, open up to receive help and want help, greatness can happen if you do that. But I think from your side too, families are proud that they think they can handle things themselves. And for you to say, it's okay, Rochelle, you go to Arbor and you're going to become a better person, that took a lot of strength on your part.
Yes.
Good for you, ladies. And Stephanie, thanks for providing that safety net for Lexington. And let's hope next year another great family comes on TV and says the great things that Arbor did for them. Congratulations. Greatness is in your future.
Thanks.
Congratulations. I'm Paul Chartier. Thanks for tuning in. This is why Heart of Gold exists, to share great things like this. Thank you very much.